One thing that is not really being talked about a lot is what a relationship between a donor and a dad looks like. Now, it's really niche because most of my recipients are lesbian couples. I would say 50-60% are lesbian couples, and then a large majority are also single mothers by choice. And then you also have relationships where there's an infertile father or a trans father and a mother, right? And now, in these situations, I think a lot of donors that I know are kind of hiding away from those as clients because they're worried about kind of jealousy or stress between the dad and them as a donor. But I will say that so far the experiences I had with these couples were wonderful. There's different reasons why a man wants to be a dad but cannot have offspring of his own genetic material. In my case, I've gone through all the different kinds, right? I've worked with all the different kinds. I've worked with couples where the husband had a genetic disease and didn't want to pass that on. I've worked with couples where the husband went through chemotherapy, had cancer in the past, couldn't have children anymore. I've worked with couples where the dad was just infertile or had azoospermia, which means basically no swimmers in the sperm, for no given reason, or no one knew really why. Now, despite or no matter what kind of situation it is that the dad cannot be the biological father, I really like to foster and have a brotherly kind of friendship or relationship to the dad. And I also like to remind everyone involved that I do give genetic foundation for their child, but genes are also shaped a lot by environment, by nature, and by the epigenomes that, turn off or turn on depending on how they raise their child. So it does turn family into a group project, and I don't think that's necessarily something bad. I think that's something incredible and something that these dads can be very proud of. I think if I was infertile, I would still want to be a dad, and I would still want to raise children. I would want to be part of a village, and I would want to, have this experience of a dad. And growing these kind of brotherly connections to the dads has made it a lot easier, I would say, to navigate what could be kind of emotionally difficult for them. And that's just some advice I would give to donors before I'm leaving the sauna now, because it's getting kind of hot. To not neglect these couples just because you're worried, but to try and see if you can find common ground or a brotherly, friendly connection to the dad, and then go from there.